With sniper Peter Bondra battling injuries, the Capitals needed help filling the scoring void on the first line, and they would find it with one of the most intimidating players of all time. The Capitals' 1999 season started pretty much as most have in the last decade, with Peter Bondra scoring a bunch of goals. With 10 in his first 14 games, it was business as usual for the Capitals offense. However, by November, something seemed off with the former 50-goal man, as he would only record 3 goals in the following 11 games. The decline in production was due to a knee injury that would cost Bondra most of December and linger most of the year. Instead of head coach Ron Wilson rotating players to find a complementary piece to the proven Bondra-Oates connection, now, Hall of Fame passer Adam Oates needed a primary scorer. And right around Christmas time, the centerman had an idea. How about Chris Simon? 28-year-old Chris Simon at this point in his career was one scary dude, a true heavyweight fighter who would take on anyone and not so gently walk the line of what was legal and illegal in the National Hockey League. But Chris Simon wasn't any ordinary quote-unquote enforcer. A former second-round pick of the Flyers due to his toughness in scoring in OHL, Chris Simon had underrated hands and could actually play. Already having a 16-goal season in Colorado as part of the Cup-winning Avalanche, and occasionally in the top 6 with Washington, especially when he first arrived and was pretty productive playing alongside Peter Bondra, Chris Simon could slot in wherever he was needed and do whatever was asked of him by the franchise. Although this time around the Capitals didn't need Simon to complement a skilled star like Bondra, they needed to replace him. And to the shock of the hockey world, he did a really good job at it. I think he could score 25 to 30 goals, Capitals coach Ron Wilson said. You get laughed at when you say that because people know about his pugilistic powers and expect that from him rather than goals. Up until late December, the Capitals were struggling to score, and their record reflected that, going 12, 16, and 5. And in his lesser role, Chris Simon had 8 points in 24 games while averaging 11 minutes time on ice. However, once Simon took a permanent spot flanking Adam Oates, he and the team would take off. Skating just over 17 minutes a night, Chris Simon scored at a staggering 40-goal pace, with 25 goals and 41 points over the next 52 games. A situation reminiscent to over 10 years earlier when Bob Probert had a chance to shine next to Stevie Y in the late 80s. For historical context, Chris Simon, the previous 7 seasons, scored 43 goals in 239 games. This was a perfect storm of health, opportunity, and of course the craftsmanship of a world-class playmaker. Make no mistake about it, the Capitals' identity was defense, and won games by keeping pucks out of the net versus high-scoring shootouts. However, the record is undeniable. Once Chris Simon and Adam Oates' passing and punching gelled in late December, it's hard to deny the difference in the team's performance, going 32, 10, and 7 with 145 goals for and 98 against. A few years earlier, the Blues gave us Hull and Oates. Now the Capitals gave us Simon and Oates Funkel. I completely made that up, and I'm embarrassed to say how long it took me to figure out how to put their faces on this CD cover. Oates knows where I am now. Adam is the best at passing the puck and finding the open guy. He has great vision. The 1999-2000 season is one of the more underrated performances in the storied career of 37-year-old Adam Oates. Starting a bit slow with 21 points in the team's first 29 games, Oates heated up with Chris Simon as his linemate, scoring 50 points in the next 53 games to lead the team for the year with 71. His 56 assists was the second best in the entire league, and maybe most impressive, Oates finished 9th in ice time for forwards with 22 minutes and 20 seconds. Not bad for an old guy, as no other forward in the top 10 was over 30 years old. And as a side note, how about the entire Ducks first line in the top 10? And in his first year wearing the C for a team, he would also have the best showing of his career in Selke voting, finishing 4th. Just another example in a Hall of Fame career of bringing the very best out of his line mates. Chris Simon enjoyed the best offensive season of his career, leading the Capitals in goals with 29. That's 29 goals by an enforcer in a pretty tough era to put the puck in the net. Only Bondra, who bounced back and forth in the top 6 when healthy, came close for the team with 21 goals in 62 games. The Wawa, Ontario native also amazingly led Washington in shots on goal with 201. And just so he didn't lose all street credibility, he led in penalty minutes as well with a tame 146. Proving he could still police the ice while putting pucks in the net. In fact, Simon joined Joe Thornton of the Bruins and JR of the Coyotes as the only skaters to lead their teams in goals and penalty minutes this season. The following year, things returned back to normal. Bondra was back to scoring 40-plus goals as Chris Simon slid back into a lesser role. But it was nice to see what the 6'3", 230-pound tough guy could do when given the chance.
Excuse me, honey, I didn't see you.
That's okay, lady.
Well, next time. You should look where you're...
Chris Simon gives Bondra all the room he's going to need.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.